This whole video is supposed to be about like all my failures. I did spend well over $100,000 in vehicles. I was wrong. I ended up losing money here. So let's talk about some of my mistakes. So let's hit inside. I make these videos because I make a lot of mistakes. I do a lot of things the wrong way and I learn from them and then I improve it. And in today's video, I'm gonna go over all of the mistakes I made at the Mecum auction. I would consider this a complete failure on my side. And it was stressful and it was hard for me to enjoy. And if you look at the two cars behind me, those are not my cars. Those are Mecum cars. What I brought might not have been the appropriate vehicles. And that's just one of the lessons that I learned today from my entire experience of trying to buy cars and sell them for a profit, which didn't happen, at the Mecum auction. Today's kind of a little unconventional, a little different, but you're gonna learn everything that I learned by my mistakes. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Let's get going. Hey, so welcome to the aftermath of the Mecum auto auction. It's over, it's done. This right here, not mine. 1993 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra. It's actually a super rare car, estimated at $60,000 to $70,000 for a Fox body Mustang. Why am I talking about a Fox body Mustang that's not mine? I brought a Fox body Mustang that sold for $8,000. Very different. Mine, I lost money on. What appeals to the people at Mecum? Probably more this than my Fox body. What else appeals to the people at Mecum? Probably this right here. Who comes here? My father, not me. My father would love to have Burt Reynolds Bandit. So I just played my cards wrong. We're gonna go into the auction right now and I'm gonna show you everything I did wrong and also look at some really cool cars that are still here after the auction's over. So let's hit inside. Today's video, you'll notice that I'm shooting it a little unconventionally, a little different from my vlog videos with my camera. Shout out to Relevant Marketing because I'm mic'd up. I have a professional camera set up. You guys can probably hear me better and I'm hoping everything is just generally better quality. Before I even go into the auction, we'll just start it off right with a Ford GT, 2021 Ford GT. This is estimated at $1.1 to $1.2 million, and it actually sold here at this auction. The day I was here, everything changed towards the end of the week, and stuff like that is still selling for $1 million. So this place is like a ghost town now, and they have a whole crew just tearing everything apart, and the last of the cars are leaving. First of all, I prepped for like a month and a half to find 5 cars. Why did I do that? Well, I was here a year ago with my father. One of the auctioneers threw an idea in my head, and he's like, hey, don't worry about the $50,000 and $60,000 cars. Buy the $15,000 cars, because the rich guys come out here, their wife might want like a Mercedes convertible, or a guy might come here that's kind of on a budget that can't afford the $50,000 car. So when I thought, yeah, maybe $15,000 cars with a good idea, I was wrong, and it was more high-end vehicles or more special interest vehicles. I brought a Mercedes that was all right. I brought a Corvette that was all right, and a Mustang that was all right. And my Skyline just doesn't appeal to the demographic that's here. And my WRX sold for not enough money, and I'm surprised it did. I ended up losing money here. Later on, we'll go through the numbers and see what it actually cost me to experiment at the Mecum auction. Kind of cool to see the aftermath here, and now it's just crews of people just tearing this place apart. I did spend well over $100,000 in vehicles, but you'll see everything that I brought is nothing like what we're walking through right now. That Corvette, maybe it just looks better under the light, but that Z06 is something I would have found and brought here. And if I look at the numbers, it sold, and they appraised it around $40,000. For a Z06 seems really high to me, but it's one of 2,000 built. So it's just more special interest at this auction than I really anticipated. I thought I could buy regular fun cars, and that wasn't ideal. There is something that is worth mentioning, and it is this 1970 Pontiac GTO. So there's something missing on this car, what it is. So you have your Ram Air hood. 1970, you have the dual headlights look like this. 1971 was different, slightly different. And then the Le Mans was a similar car, but it had chrome bumpers. This is the Judge. This is like the ultimate GTO. And it even has like the era correct Firestone wide oval tires. What's cool about this car, this had an original MSRP of $5,122 for a GTO Judge. Now, the high bid was $200,000. Hey, teaser into our next video. You'll see the Skyline. Guess what? I'm back at home. Huge bummer. Somebody broke this thing at an auction. It's a long story and it's in our next video. Today's video is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. When I lived in Florida, I was actually rear-ended by like a tractor trailer truck and I was in a BMW Z3. So I wish I did call Morgan & Morgan, and when you're seriously hurt, consider calling them for yourself. Fee is free unless you win. When an insurance company lowballs a client, Morgan & Morgan will fight to get you the money you deserve and not just their lowball offer. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest for a reason, and it's because they win a lot. Morgan & Morgan, they've modernized the injury law process so you can submit a claim and communicate with your legal team all from your smartphone. Over 3 million people call Morgan & Morgan every year for a reason, and they've recovered over $20 billion for their clients. It's so easy. You can start a claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/flying wheels. You can check out Morgan & Morgan with a link in our description. I always like their commercial because it's Mr. Morgan going, for the people. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. So C8 Corvette, C8R, another C8 Corvette, sold. The Corvette market is coming down significantly. So this is a Z06. You can tell it's Z06 wheels. You have the bigger vent. Obviously, this is a extremely desirable car, and it's a great place to be running a Z06. Now C8R, they're like slightly an upgrade, like a cosmetic package. So there's not really much to it, but both of these cars sold here as well. And now we're talking upwards of $100,000 cars. This one, $106,000 MSRP on a C8R. Last one in this tent, I have no idea, and this is me reaching out to you guys to tell me, is this an original top for this car? This is a 1969 Dodge Super Bee floral top, which makes me think like this was purchased this way, but I really have no idea. The whole car is perfect. 2 days ago, there were thousands of people here and literally thousands of cars worth millions of dollars in all of these tents. Now they're all empty. There's nothing else here. It is just a convention center. 2 days ago, it was a full auction block with red carpets, seats everywhere and tables everywhere, and now it is an arena. Just past this Lexus LFA, which is one of my most favorite cars. We talked about the GTO. So 71 GTO headlights, 71 GTO headlights, rim air changed as well. 71. If you look at the 70, you'll see the headlights are different. We have another GTO Judd. This one has what I asked what was missing in that first Judge. Can you figure it out? One of my favorites, Audi R8. I love these cars. Let's keep going. A year ago, I came with my father. We came on vacation. It was a guy's trip. We had an absolute blast here and really got to enjoy ourselves. This year I turned it into a job, and it took away from the entire experience. My father had a great time, my brother had a great time, I didn't, and honestly I felt like I put them to work the whole time, which really was a drag on me. I spent my entire December, instead of enjoying Christmas or instead of focusing on work and video content, I focused on finding cars that I could buy, fix, clean, and sell here. And in hindsight, I even chose the wrong cars. Everything I sold here, you won't see one of under this tent. It consumed my month. And then the first day I came here was an absolute disaster. And instead of being able to enjoy Florida with my brother and father, I made them work. I basically gave them a job, moving cars around. That turned out to be quite a headache. And if you have seen disaster video number 1, day 2, auction video, we had an absolute blast. Why? Because it wasn't about work, it was about fun. Let me turn here to the 2019 Ford GT. High bid was $800,000. $800,000, probably worth more like 1.1 million. Did not sell. Let's go see what that is running over there. This is a car I had already done a video on, 1992 Ferrari F40. Yes, it did sell in the millions. Ferrari Enzo also sold. These were like the highlights of the auction, in the millions. Both of these cars were incredible. They were showcased dead center in the center tent, and both of them sold. I like affordable cars, like fun cars that regular people can afford. Cadillac CTS-V, supercharged 6.2 liter LSA engine. This car is so much fun to drive, like incredible fast car. So let's talk about some of my mistakes. I turned what should have been fun, what should have been a hobby, into a job. Doesn't work out for me. So the experience I learned a lot from. I brought the wrong cars, and it's really difficult to make money on cars in that price range because let's say the Mustang was $8,000. I paid $4,460 for that Mustang. I did a battery, a windshield, a window motor, fluid change details. It cost me $1,932 to go through that car. Shipping was $1,300. The listing fee was $3,000. It sold for $8,000. forget everything I have invested in that car. The auction charges $300 to run it and a 10% seller's fee. My total profit was $492 on that car after everything. So that was a lot of work to try and sell a car for $492. That honestly consumed my entire month, and I had buyers for it at home for $8,000 and $9,000. People wanted to fly in when they saw the video and buy it themselves. I'm hoping this was kind of my foot in the door, learning lessons, and then next year we can do better. 1969 Ford Bronco. Quite honestly, probably runs like hell. I bet it drives really rough and it's really loud, but it's really cool looking. And someone did a full custom one-off, like resto mod on it. But the real reason I wanted to show you this is the price. So everything is custom, from upholstery to center console to the shift knobs and steering wheel. Everything is done incredibly, incredibly well. 1969 Ford Bronco, one-off, custom car, perfect condition. What do you think it's worth? $175,000 to $200,000 for a Ford Bronco. And I'm pretty sure that nobody guessed that high in the comments. This is a little more realistic, a little more stock. This is another 74 Ford Bronco. Now I said it's a little more realistic. Guess, because now we're guessing high. We already know what the 69 Bronco was. Estimated at $120,000 to $140,000. And it actually sold. I am back in Florida 1 week after I was in Florida. Why? Another mistake. So Mecum does a thing called the bid goes on. They're actually pretty good at it, and they sold my Corvette after my video where I said we only sold 2 cars. So we actually ended up selling 3 cars. I'll go over the profits or losses at the very, very end of this video. But a couple of things that I learned was, with a bid goes on, the auctioneers actually call people, anyone that was interested in a specific car, say maybe a Corvette, they would have called them and said, hey, we have this Corvette, or we noticed you were bidding on this car online. What do we have to do to make it work? So the bid goes on actually sold my 14 Corvette Stingray convertible, which was really cool. So after the fact, I'm home already. I got a call from the auction saying, hey Craig, congrats. We sold your Corvette for you. I know it didn't sell on the auction block, but we ended up selling it after the fact with a bid goes on. Now I knew that we had a bid goes on option, and it runs on our websites for 21 days. Okay, I have 21 days of leaving my car here while they try to sell it. That's not right, that's wrong. I have to get the cars out of here. So I found out Thursday that my cars need to be out of here by Monday. I could not get a transport out here fast enough. So I had to fly down here, get them, to bring them to another auction, to sell them at another auction. That isn't working out for me either. All right, this is a 2000 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R. This is legit a track car. Like, there is a radio. There's no AC though. This car was built for the track. It is unbelievable. When I was 16, 15, my father and I bought my first car. It was a 69 Ford Mustang. He also bought himself a 70 Ford Mustang Mach 1 Cobra Jet. 69 has 4 headlights, 70 has 2 headlights, and then 69 had the vent on the side. Also, the taillights were different in 69. They protruded a little bit more, versus the 1970 were slightly different, I believe. And if I'm wrong, I know you guys will tell me. So the hood scoop was actually on the intake of the car. It was sat on top of the carburetor. So when you open the hood, the shaker hood scoop was actually still on top of the engine, and it would shake. This is actually incredibly rare. How did I know that from all the way over there? It is the only 69 Ford Mustang that came with this wide hood scoop. This is affixed on the hood, doesn't move. So this is a NASCAR edition. I'm not quite sure what that actually means, but it was appraised at an estimated $425,000 to $475,000, and it's sold on the auction block. 1996 Lamborghini Diablo. This whole video is supposed to be about like all my failures. Well, there will be plenty of it, but I want to just give so many honorable mentions. A $400,000 Lamborghini Diablo. This was after the Countach, and this is the car that just, like, the iconic 90s Lamborghini that came out after the Countach, and it's such a cool car to see. Who knows what this car is from? Estimated $50,000 to $60,000, which I thought is actually kind of high for a car like this. Fun fact about these cars, they're 6 cylinders, they're not that fast, and they're made out of stainless steel so they don't rust. So this is a 33 Cadillac Coupe. And if you look, you have all your controls on your steering wheel. So your throttle's here, your lights are here, manual shifter, clutch on the floor, obviously. And look at how narrow the seats are. That is your back seat. If you look right here, step, 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 climb in. High bid on this car, $44,000, which, to have a piece of history, let's go. Oh, I was gonna talk about a different topic and I keep getting sidetracked because that's a CTSV wagon over there. That car was in a movie with Dak Shepard and Bradley Cooper. I'm not gonna say the name of the movie. A supercharged 500 horsepower race car. That's a wagon that can fit your entire family. So when I sit on affordable now, like 40s, high 30s, mid 40s for these cars, This one, the high bid was $58,000 and it did not sell, and it's actually an automatic. So to find it in a 6-speed is really, really difficult, and when you find them, people keep them because they're rare and they're desirable. The mistakes I've made, the lessons I've learned, you'll see all the mud behind me that I'm about to trudge through. I'm in Florida once again, I've already said that, in the rain. Why 1 week later? Because I have to move these cars out. So now I had this in my big brain thinking, hey, you know what? I'll take my Skyline and my Mercedes. I only have 2 cars here. I'll fly down to Florida on a Monday. I'll Uber over, I'll get the cars. I'll bring them to a dealer auction, which is also in Orlando, which I really enjoy going to, and I'll sell them there on Tuesday. I met a great guy, Richard, I'll give you a shout out here, a week ago that, hey Craig, if you need any numbers, call me. I run at Manheim all the time. I'll give you 2 great numbers. Like, perfect. Well, it was too late to transport them. So I decided to fly down, move cars back and forth. I got in late last night. The auction stops letting cars out at 5, so I was only able to get my Skyline out. Brought it all the way there, which was a lot of work, to find out that they won't run it because the mileage is in kilometers. So because the car came from Japan, they won't run it. That car, I wasted a lot of time, a good amount of time, getting here, bringing it there, and then finding out that they won't run it. The auction is today, not yesterday. I thought I could get the Mercedes there as well. That didn't work out because, like I said, they don't let cars out of here after 5. So I had to wait till this morning, couldn't get here in time, and now I'm strolling around the mud looking for a Mercedes that could be God knows where here. I showed you the 69 Mustang taillights that were protruding out of the rear. The 70 is so similar to the 69. I knew without looking at it that was a 70 just based off those taillights. There is no vent on the side here, and then it will have 2 headlights and a grille on the front. You'll have your fog light, your headlight, and then the grill's right there for your directionals. So that's how you know the difference between a 69 and 70, and that hood scoop is not stock. Boss 429 hood scoop that somebody stuck on this 1970 Ford Mustang. My 2014 Chevy Corvette convertible, $27,000 was the high bid. It actually sold with the bid goes on. So the auction sold it for me, I think for like around $34,500. I ended up clearing $29,500. So this car was kind of a score. I made $900 on it. Literally never saw this car until it was here. This place is huge and it's muddy. I'm sticky, I'm sweaty, I'm muddy, I'm wet. I gave in, we took a golf cart here, found my car. So my Corvette that's sold is over there. Our Mercedes is here, it's over. You'll see high bid $9,000. I own this car for like $11,000. This car is going to the Manheim Auto Auction, and I'm gonna try to sell it at a dealer auction. Shipping it home would cost me another $1,300. Then I have to go through it, clean it, fix it, try to sell it in the dead of winter. It's just easier for me to cut my losses. The Skyline is sitting at another auction, unsellable. I'll have to ship that home, which I'm okay with. This auction was like just seriously exhausting for me. The 2003 Mercedes SL 500, 39,000 miles, has an actual retail value of $15,000. I paid $10,465, $150 in miscellaneous parts, run fee of $3,000. The high bid was $8,500, no sale. 91 Ford Mustang, $10,000 was the actual retail value. I paid $44.60, battery, window, motor, windshield fluids changed, $1,900 there, shipping, listing fees, sold for $8,000, total profit $492 on the Ford Mustang. The Chevy Corvette, which is like 5 cars over that way, I thought was gonna be the steal. I thought I was just gonna make a total score on that car. I paid $27.3, shipped it, run fee, total invested $28.6, sold, my cash in hand is $29.5. Profit, $900. That was the easiest one because I bought it online, had it shipped here, sold it here, never even saw the car till it was here. The Nissan Skyline, I own it for $30, high bid was $23. I ran it all over the place and have to ship it home, so that is a loss. Last car, my 2018 Subaru WRX, 46,000 miles, actual retail value $20,000, paid $12,495, didn't have to transport it, had nothing invested. Plus the listing fee, it sold for $14,000, 10% commission. I lost $195 on that car. So I made a little bit on the Mustang, I made a little bit on the Corvette, I lost money in the WRX, and the Skyline has to be shipped home. So I learned a lot, I lost a lot, and it was an experiment that hopefully you guys learned from my mistakes. If it was educational, informative, just fun to watch in general because it was exhausting for me, thumbs ups are appreciated. I really appreciate it because it costs you nothing and it helps boost our videos. And subscribe if you're into anything auto related because I make car content all the time. Thanks for watching, I'll see you later. Adios.